All praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Green Millstone that rule well. Peace, say, teach, and Allah Akim doing and push this word in sincerity and truth worldwide, and a sincere shalom to the elect. I want to get into this real quick. Don't judge on the outward, okay? And this is what our people do when they look at Babylon, at America, okay? They say it's strong. They say, the technology is thriving. The business avenue is thriving. You know what I mean? Everything is going to be thriving. It's going to continue on in this way. Okay? This is why I took this, from this scripture here. 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 7. But Yahweh said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For Yahweh seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but Yahweh looketh on the heart. Okay? So man looketh on the outward appearance. Okay? That's the point that I want to get there. And our people looks at Babylon and says, yeah, it's going to thrive. It's going to continue. They got the mindset of, a fool. Okay? Basically. Because, here it is. We're showing you that the Lord has, set the bounds of this man and this place. If you look in history repeats itself. You think this empire is going to go on for 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 3,000 years? You should do the math when you look at empires, man. They don't last that long, okay? And this, the Lord said that her sins have reached onto heaven. This place is going down, okay? Job chapter 14 and verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. You understand that? So the Lord set the bounds of this man. And that MOTB, okay, this is why we keep saying, yeah, go ahead, push the button, Esau. Push the button. Put it upon the world. Say, yeah, everybody got to take this MOTB. Because we already know the scriptures say when he's about to fill his belly, the Lord cast a fury on his ass, man. Okay? But like I said, don't judge on the outward. The state of Babylon, stop thinking it's strong, man. It's going down. It's about to take a L, the biggest L. Okay? They're seeing everybody in the shops, in the markets, and think everything's cool. 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be sold good cheap upon earth, that they should think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Okay? And what do you think is happening right now, man? These very words are popping off the book, dangling right in front of your face, and you guys still can't see it. Okay? Man. So, right now as they buying and selling, making business opportunities and business moves, they think themselves to be in a good case, in a good place. Okay? But the evils are slowly growing till it comes to that, bound that the Lord has set, that measurement. Okay? This is why we say that you guys are fucking living in La La Land, man. You're living like the enemy. Okay? When in Rome, you know the rest. Psalms 49:11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, and their dwelling places to all generations. Yeah, my son going to inherit this, his son's sons, so on and so forth. But their inward thought is that what? Their houses shall continue forever. Okay, this is going to continue the same way. Yup, this is why, yup, let me go to, this is the mindset that they have, right? Yep. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 3, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts, and saying, where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. This is their mindset. Okay? Where's the promise of his coming? You guys said that we ain't seen nothing. All things continue as they were from the beginning, man. What you guys talking about? You keep talking about somebody gonna crack the sky and, they don't believe, okay? It's not within their spirit to believe. But we know that the Lord, as the scriptures tell you right here, let me get this real quick. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and we in that period right now, we in the end. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, okay? That's our world right there, Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 17, world without end. But they don't have, the ears to hear. Let's go to something real quick. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 8. Or no, 7. 7. Is it 7 I wanted there? Yeah. So let's get verse 7 here. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. This is the mindset of the modern day American, the Babylonian. Okay? And even those fakes in that land too. Well, mass majority of the world, their mindset is that. But the prideful Americans, the Babylonians, that's their mindset right there. We ain't gonna see no sorrow. Ain't nobody gonna touch us. We're powerful. We're strong, right? And they got Jay convinced. They got a mass percentage of the world convinced still, but that's slowly dripping away. Because you've seen the weak, let them say they're strong, right? The weak nations, they're becoming strong, as it tells you in Joel, right? Let the weak say I'm strong. So let's go into, what is that, Isaiah? Add that up, Isaiah. So you Jakes, you keep trusting in this man. You're gonna inherit what he's gonna inherit. Well, Slakia, you're gonna partake with that destruction with him, because you join in hand with him. 2/3 of Jake, right? Isaiah 47 verse 7. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, thy mind, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, thy mind, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Okay? And you go on to read the rest, you know what's going to happen. But this is the mindset of them again. Okay? Their mindset is that, state of Babylon is strong. Nobody's going to touch her. Nobody's going to do nothing to her. Okay? They're going to thrive. Right? That's in their mindset. We're just going to get stronger and stronger. Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Because this is going to happen in a moment of time, man. Look, we've been telling you before that, this place is going to be hit. It's going to be destroyed. But you're in the mindset of 2 Peter's, right? Where it says that, where I had it, 2 Peter chapter 3, right? 3 and 4. Since the fathers fell away, where's the promise of his coming, man? So this is deeply embedded in your mindset. And this is what I told the individual at camp. I said, we're spiritual beings having a physical, encounter, okay? A physical experience, right? So he didn't understand what I was trying to say, or trying to tell him that, in these bodies that we're in, the movie is so real, okay? It is so real. You're playing out your part, man. You don't know. But we have our faith and we have our trust in the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And Lord will, he keeps us, So we can see these things about to happen, but you are, you're too much in the movie, as they say, okay? You got too much tunnel vision in the world that you can't, you can't see this. You can't see this about to happen. But hey, keep trusting in the shadow of Egypt, man. You're going to see. Isaiah chapter 31 and verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not to the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Okay? So here it is, they looking at Egypt and saying it's strong. It is strong. But like I said, all these societies, they take an L. Okay? And this society's turn to take an L is right around the corner. Isaiah chapter 36 and verse 6. Lo, thou trusted in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him. So, come on, man. Eventually this place is going to go down, and you're going to go down with it. You're going to be destroyed with it, okay? For putting your trust in man. For putting your trust in this place, okay? And like I said, we're spiritual individuals. We think spiritually, okay? We don't think carnally. Y'all individuals, like I said, we're spirits having a physical experience, right? But the Lord has given us that ability to think spiritually. So we could see what's going to happen to this place, right? But y'all can't see it because you're too fucking carnal. This is why we put our strength and trust into Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and y'all put your strength and trust into Babylon, thinking it's strong, okay? And we know we could spiritually, we crack open the book and we could see all these empires that took L's. And this empire is no different, man. It's going to take an L. Big L. So with that, hey, all praises, all honor, all glory be unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to all the Akim doing and pushing his word in sincerity and truth worldwide, and a sincere shalom to the elect. I hope you're edified, Lord willing, to the next time. Abad Babal. Shalom Akim.